Light, nimble, slow. You came here for this car. A dream car for many. A cultural phenomenon. AE86 Corolla. In this video, I will talk about styling, technicals, interior, cultural significance, and the heritage of an 86. Write down in the comments what is your favorite car and what should I make a video about next. Be sure to watch until the end of the video. I have a little announcement to make. I'm gonna be honest, I got into 86s because of Juicebox for You. Thank you, Neil. After rambling about the car to my friend group, my anime-loving friends suggested me to watch Initial D. And from then on, for the past decade almost, I have been in love with the 86, drifting and twisty roads. Sentimentals over, back to the video. Sit down, my friend, it's time for a story. At the first glance, it was an unassuming, little, small, rectangular 80s hatch. Well, it was not the case, at least being an unassuming little car wasn't. 86, also known as AE86 or Hachiroku, for the lack of a better word, was a legendary car. Kind of a requiem to the rear-wheel drive Corollas. Based on the previous generation's chassis, AE86 became the 5th Corolla generation, or the 4th gen Sprinter. Video about previous generation, the E70, will be made in the near future. Unlike the E36, name here carries a little bit more information. A, family of the engine, in this case it's for A series. E, the Corolla platform. 80, internal code for the generation of the Corolla. 6 or 5 is a variant in this generation. To get things straight, this does not make the car an 86, and this does not make it an 85. These were on both 85s and 86s. Understood? Good. This car got a large following because of 3 things. Affordability, 20 years ago. Lightweight, with pretty good balance, and simplicity. All these things made a car the street racing icon, mother of drifting, and the anime car. It used to be cheap, but drift tax, Takumi tax, rapidly diminishing numbers made it essentially an obtainium. Well, you can buy one, yes, but they sold for tens of thousands of dollars or euros. For cars not in mint condition. It's a 40-year-old hatchback. Why so much? God damn it. Okay, car's body is pretty iconic. We all know what to look at, but let me get into detail. Boxy, veggie, some people can say sexy. We have a coupe, a three-door hatch or liftback. Both can come with fixed headlights or pop-up headlights. It gives us 4 combinations. Front of the car is nothing much to write home about, other than it just looks good. As for differences between 85 and 86, there are barely any differences. Most 85s came with just entirely unpainted bumpers, and most were 11s because it was cheaper, but you can get an unpainted bumper on the 86, so I don't know. What was the same, in general, was lighting. Fixed headlight variants are called Levin, which translates as lightning. And you cannot have lightning without thunder. Yes, I mean the terrain. which means thunder in Spanish. Onto the sides. We have the same thing. Only big difference is that 85s never came in two-tone from factory. And they came in some pretty different colors to the 86, but don't quote me on that. Now onto the back. With coupe, we get a boxy standard rear end, and on its own it ain't much. But overall design, looking at the car with midsection, front together, if you squint a little, it kinda looks like a mini GT car. It really does. Three-door hatch, the more popular and more expensive out of the two. Just look at it. Look at that slope. Look at how much more trunk space you get. Magnificent vehicle. Rear lights are pretty much completely different between the two. Well, they are not interchangeable at all. Coupe have kind of a slant towards the front and they wrap around the quarter panel a lot more. Hatch ones are basically a rectangular slab with a little bit of wraparound. With the hatch we can see a nice good rear, but it doesn't look too different from contemporary cars. I mean, look at the Honda Accord S12 Silvia. They had pretty much the similar shape, but it's an 86, it has some of its own charm and pretty damn balanced design. And now look at the Levin hatch. That's a real good looking car. So we have 4 body designs, right? Wrong. There was a facelift in 1985, which make Zenki and Kouki, or pre-facelift and facelift versions of all the variants. So it means there are 8 basic body styles, and 16 if you count in the 85. Some people prefer Zenki, some people prefer Kouki. I like them both equally, obviously. All in all, I consider it the peak 80s car design. Onto the suspension we go. Here it is pretty much unchanged from the KE70 or TE72 previous sportish Corolla. Front is McPherson strut suspension, simple, classic, not much to be said. Rear is solid rear axle with divorced scheme, that is coils apart from the shocks and bunch of leakages. So also nothing to tell about. What is different that it is a little bit lower, a little bit wider, though basically because it's more sport-oriented vehicle. Look at the 85 and it's higher, softer car. So yeah. The biggest difference between older generations and the 86 is stiffness and different sway bar linkages in the rear, I think. Let's talk about the engine. It all began in the 1960s with 2000 GT. Back then, Toyota and Yamaha unveiled it at the Tokyo Motor Salon, and its 3M engine, 2.0 liter making 150 horsepower, but it did not go far. Why? Because at the time it was too expensive to make. But it paved a way for a relationship that will span decades. Fast forward to the mid-70s, the E71s or 72s 2T engine was no longer enough, so Toyota tasked Yamaha with the development of a new engine, and thus 4AGE was born. They picked the 4A as the base, a single overhead cam, pretty much underpowered engine. They made a brand new head for it, and 4AGE was born. G stands for performance, E stands for electronic fuel consumption. It bumped the power output from measly 78 horsepower eventually to 130, and torque from 115 Newton meters, 85 pound-feet of torque, to 149 and 111 pound-feet. I'm not gonna forget that. I will not talk about all the different versions for different regions, because emission regulations are boring. If you see C at the end, it was made to comply with Californian emissions. If you see U at the end, it was to comply with new Japanese emission standards. First came the Blue Top engine. It got its name from lettering color on the valve covers. It started off with 128 horsepower, had big ports, hence the early name Big Port or early Big Port. They barely had any lowered power. Compensation was TVS, Toyota Variable Intake System. It uses vacuum to open the butterfly valves, which reduce airflow at lower PM. Well, it sounds like it should kill power, but in fact it moved power curve earlier, so you could drive the engine at least, because at lower PMs it had absolutely no torque and you could not drive it well. It was the only generation of 4AG to be put in the 86. Other cars that had this engine from the 83 to 87 were Toyota Carina AE63 to AT160, Celica with the same codes, AE82 Corolla and Sprinter, Corona AT141 and AT160, and that's it. Production of this generation of the 4AG ended in May of 1987, along with the production of the 86. In the 86, this engine was connected to 5-speed manual T50 transmission or a 4-speed A44D automatic transmission. Automatic was run-of-the-mill gearbox, not very interesting, but the manual was. With T50 we got a hydraulic clutch, and gearing of the transmission allowed the car to reach 100 km per hour in 8.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 200 km per hour. The 85 got the K50 gearbox that had also 5 speeds, but it had a cable clutch. And it was a little bit differently geared, for more economy, less acceleration, and less stop. One of the ways to tell if car was converted from the 85 to 86 is to look out for the clutch cable hole in the firewall. It looks like a tube. Now that I'm finished with the technical information, let's get into what you will see the most while driving the car. Interior. Both coupes and hatches were 2+2 style cars, which means they can accommodate 4 people. The car's interior is pretty basic today, but back in the day it was pretty alright. Interiors were pretty much exactly the same between all the trim levels, but had some optional extras and colors that base did not have. Let's dive into said trim levels. First trim level, GT. It was only offered in the 2-door, 2-spoke wheel, exactly the same interior that 85 SE had. I'll talk about the 85 trim levels after the 86 trims. 13-inch steelers, blue tint. All of the cars except one trim level had blue tint. Most basic seat options. Rear seats were not split foldable, least interesting, but then lightest possible option. Next we have GTV. It came only the hatch version of the car, had more color options, not just tan and blue, a little bit thinner center console than the GT, 3-spoke steering wheel, and different options of the wheels available, with 14-inch stems at the base instead of 13s, and vented disc brakes all around. GT had rear drums. Available options include, but are not limited to, aircon, power steering, two-tone paint job, Panda, power mirrors, power windows, power sunroof, LSD or limited slip differential, rear wiper, mud flaps, painted bumpers, alloy wheels, OEM aero package, fog lights, etc. GTV was marked by a decal on the vehicle that just said GTV Twin Cam 16. Next on, GT Apex. Tom trim level, both 3-door and 2-door got it. Unique feature, brown teeth windows and 13-inch alloy wheels. Power mirrors, rear wiper, and some other shit came stock. Terrain got motorized fog light covers, Levin got flip-up grille. We get the modernized GT interior with split folding rear seat, sport front seats, tilting steering column, power steering and rear defrost. Options included fully digital dashboard, which came standard with Zenki hatchback, cruise control, LSD, Alpine sound systems, power windows, OEM aero, 14-inch alloy wheels, rear hatch visor, and side window billboards. AE85 also had different trim levels. SR and SE are the light models, mainly made for autosport enthusiasts. One is hatch, other is two-door. XL Lisei and GL Lime are the luxury variants with heavy marketing towards Japanese women at the time. They came with automatic gearbox as a base, with manual option, and featured unique upholstery and paint jobs. Lisei is a two-door Trueno, Lime is a two-door Levin. XL and GL are lower grades of corresponding trim levels mentioned before. Likewise, XL is a for two-door Trueno, and GL is a for two-door Levin Sports. A6 found recognition in different kinds of autosport. Rally, grip, drift, drag racing, you name it, she competed there. For the grip styles, more preferred was coupe because it was lighter and a lot stiffer than hatchback. However, hatchback looks better. Cultural significance. Oh boy, where do you even start? Okay, let's start from the beginning.
In the beginning,
Car's cultural significance starts with it becoming a target of street racers all over Japan in the mid to late 80s. Street racing really took off there. Where this car became popular thanks to the man himself, Eiichi Tsuchiya, and his new innovative style of driving. But we have to go back on a little history lesson. This man is Kunimitsu Takahashi, world-famous Japanese motorcycle rider, the first Japanese racer to win German Grand Prix in 1961. After a horrific accident at the Isle of Man TT, he was forced to forget racing. Unless he switched to cars. And this is where our story truly begins. In 1965, he starts racing on a Nissan Skyline. Let me know if you want to see a video about Hakosuka. And he immediately started winning. And it was not because of the car, or money, or anything like that. Most of the people raced Hakosukas at the time. It was purely because of the way he was driving. Namely how he took the corners. C tires in the 6S were garbage. Bias ply did not grip well. And what did Takahashi do? Controlled oversteering into the turn to not spend time and speed straightening the car on the exit. And as soon as he regains grip, he would just slam on the throttle and fly out. This is where the little thing called drifting came from. Yes, there were instances of that before, but nobody did it with such precision, such consistency as Takahashi. Drifting captivated everyone, from professionals to spectators. And this is where the man, the myth, the legend, Eiichi Tsuchiya pops in. He was so impressed by Takahashi's racing style that he eventually started trying it out on his good old 1986 Trueno on the mountain roads of Japan, also called Touge. He mastered his craft to such an extent that he got dubbed Dory King or Drift King. Such a badass name! Later on, he goes to get stripped of his professional racing license for featuring in a little short itty-bitty barely known film called Waspy. It exploded the popularity of drifting after a while, and in a bit Tsuchiya gets his license back, gathers finance, and then he released the Drift Bible, a collection of videos that teach you how to drift using the base 6 techniques. Techniques that he calls
サイド、シフトロック、パワーオーバー、ブレーキング、フェイント、アクセルオフ。
Go watch the Drift Bible. It was good. There are uploads of it and Waspy on YouTube, and just trust me, check it out. Tsuchiya's influence made drift so popular that there are now competitions around the world. And his mastery of the 86 made one mangaka very interested in it. So he created the world-renowned Initial D. Every location, every car in that manga and later anime were from the real world. In Initial D, main character Takumi Fujiwara delivers tofu from his father's shop to a hotel somewhere downhill of the Mount Haruna. In manga it was called Mount Akina. At first, everything was alright, until Takumi decided that he no longer wants to sacrifice his sleep. And he started being more aggressive when driving. And he discovered drifting for himself. His delivery time increased, but he started delivering damaged product, which prompted his father to come up with a solution, a punishment, a water cup. If you don't spill anything, Tofu will arrive safe. At first, it made Takumi a lot slower, but with time, he mastered the balance and became the fastest on that one mountain pass, and later all around the Japan that they competed at. It may have cut out most of the plot, but yeah, a live action that I used couple scenes from is not as bad as some people say, but anime was a lot better. Watch it, trust me, you will like it. As of recently, we have gotten teasers to the upcoming movie Drifter, made by Song Kang, I have butchered his name, who became popular with car community after playing Han in Fast and Furious. He starred in 26 movies and God knows how many TV shows. With his movie Drifter, I can assure you, prices for the AE86 will jump through the roof. By the way, Lola, the name of the car in the movie, is actually 3 cars. One is almost entirely stock, and the last one has a V8 in it. I want to see that movie when it comes out, man. In short, AE86 has a huge cultural impact on the car community. Even non-enthusiasts will call, hey look, that car is a Trueno. That says something about popularity of the car. As it is with the AE36 video, I will mention that AE86 are rather rare in Ukraine. A lot more rare than basically anywhere else, and a lot of them, instead of being sold in the country, go abroad. Despite there being plenty of people willing to buy cars, well, that's pretty much the sad reality. On this sad note, video is pretty much ended. And now for my announcement. Because I don't have a job and legally cannot get one for about a couple months, and also I got the language school, I will not try doing YouTube full time. And just because I have a lot of free time and nothing better to do. Language school starts in June, just in 2 months. Well, it starts in the middle of June. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. If you did not, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, goodbye, до побачення, auf Wiedersehen. Interior, crocodile, alligator, I drove a Chevrolet movie theater.